The original trilogy is coming to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge in Disneyland, coming very, very soon. We are going to see characters like Han Solo, like Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, Darth Vader, all come to Batuu for the first time. But guys, it's going to go above and beyond that. There may be some changes coming to the decor of the land that, might change everything. We're going to talk about it today on That Park Place. Guys, so this came to me from Lauren Connor. He got some information from a source that said, and I'm going to read the screenshot that I got from him aloud. And of course, it just closed on me. So it said, this was the backup plan all along, meaning the original trilogy stuff coming into Galaxy's Edge. The sequels were abysmal. The fan base rejected them from the start of Batuu. There was a plan to bring in the OG characters. The stories are based on the first trilogy. That's what made Star Wars. He also says they might keep Batuu as the story point because somebody made the point that you could easily change it into Mos Eisley. But I delivered a piece of the Falcon when they were building and got to see a behind the scenes look. The static Falcon has the round radar dome waiting for it. So right now, obviously in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, you have the square Falcon satellite dish that was put on after, in Return of the Jedi when the round satellite dish was knocked off. Now, if they're going to set this in the original trilogy, in a time while Darth Vader is still alive, you're going to have the round dish. So apparently they are going to be replacing that. The Millennium Falcon is going to be getting a bit of a facelift, guys. The round dish is going to be coming to the Falcon. You see it right there. The Falcon out there in the distance. You see the rectangular satellite dish right there. So I would love to see the Falcon actually look like the Falcon again.
Yeah, that round dish is very synonymous with a particular era of Star Wars, right? It's like right there from A New Hope to all the way to Return of the Jedi, and when Lando, got to bust it off right there as he was flying out of the Death Star there. I would be very encouraged to actually see that. That would be super, super cool. We did hear from, was it Doug Chang, if I'm not mistaken? I believe, he was basically the SVP or senior vice president of Lucasfilm and had a big hand in bringing Star Wars Galaxy's Edge to life. And he was saying that, look, with this update in the timeline, right? They're shifting this. They were going to not only feature, graphics, but also props as well. It would make sense that they would switch things out to make it more inline with that specific timeline right there by doing like, hey, we're going to have to take down the First Order stuff. We're going to have to put up Empire stuff. As it relates to the First Order area, we're going to have to change the story for one of the shops in the First Order area. I believe it's, surrounding the 501st. We're going to go ahead and expand that out. So it makes sense that they would want to do some big prop work like that. I just didn't know that, it might already exist. Very fascinating stuff.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Now it goes on beyond this. He also says friends built life-size Han in Carbonite as wall decorations. They have Vader's X1 ready to replace Kylo's TIE. Now they have recently recanonized that specific ship to be in the original trilogy. So even if they have Vader's TIE in Vader's X1, I don't think they're going to put it out there. I think they're going to maybe save the manpower on that. I think that ship is going to stay.
I think so. That would be a pretty big change. Obviously, they could, but we've already seen marketing material featuring Stormtroopers and Darth Vader in front of that specific ship in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge as it currently exists, so I don't think that's going to change all that much. But I will say, putting in Han Solo and Carbonite is very, very interesting because we have heard that Han Solo himself in physical form, or at least we assume, is going to be alongside Princess Leia in this area that you're seeing on screen right now.
Maybe it'll be some kind of prop to in a replica of it in Doc Ondar's Den of Antiquities or something like that.
That would be kind of cool, right?
Yeah,
it's like, hey, here's Jabba's favorite piece, that he had at that time. That's very true. It's sad that we won't get Chewbacca and Han Solo in this area, as it probably should be. Chewbacca's going to be over there. Yeah, they have said that he's going to join Rey and I think
Oh, come
appearances by
on.
R2D2 over there next to Rise of Resistance. And it's kind of like, why can't you have Chewie and Han together? That doesn't make sense.
That blue hair lady over there with Ray, and then let Chewie go hang out with his actual friends.
Right. But when you would think that they would. I don't know why they're not. It's just ridiculous. But so they're shifting the timeline, right, for this area of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. And it's kind of interesting when you think about Han, Prozen, and Carbonite, because I think the Luke that they have, they're going to keep, right? That's kind of the Return of the Jedi Luke. But Darth Vader's supposed to be looking for Luke, and so if he's looking for Luke around this time, then maybe Han would be in Carbonite, or maybe it's just after. I don't know how they're going to work out those timeline issues, but c'est la vie, they will. Now, there's one update, Marvin, that I got, a little tidbit, a little bit of information for the fate of Oga's Cantina. We had all kind of assumed that right now, currently in Disneyland, it is down. The construction walls are up, and you can actually, it's very, very interesting because it's just all blocked off, and Disney's been really mum about what they're actually doing inside. And a lot of people were thinking, hey, maybe they're updating the props inside, and maybe know that they will. But I have heard it on pretty good authority that the update might involve a little bit of demolition and maybe replacement of the booths inside Star Wars Galaxy's Edge Oga's Cantina. If you know that, you know how they're constructed there, they're kind of like really big booths, and it can kind of get a little awkward for people to come in and out of there and so forth. Also, too, one of the reasons why they got rid of reservations for Disneyland's Oga's Cantina back in August of 2025 was because if you called in and you made a reservation, you got a booth. If you didn't, if you were one of those people waiting outside like you see on screen right now, you didn't get a booth. It was standing room only.
Usually.
So it might be a removal of the booths entirely and replacing those with stand-up tables.
More space to get more people in there if you remove the booths, but the booths are nice.
It would, but man, that's such a diminished experience. Hopefully, maybe we have a redesign of the booths and make them more traditional, almost restaurant style, rather than the kind of the big alcoves that they have right now.
I think I remember a couple of weeks ago you saying that you thought that they were going to be adding a kitchen.
I was, maybe that was hopeful thinking on my part, but I was kind of saying, look, if you want to go ahead and increase sales for this area and get people to stay longer and increase demand, it would behoove Disney to actually add a kitchen so that they can actually prep food, even if it's not like a full scale kitchen. Maybe a deep fryer somewhere or something that can get things out. Unfortunately, that might not be the case.
Not, I don't think, built to like for people to have a meal in. Like it's built to get you in and out in 40 minutes.
Right.
Is it like the Beacon Barrel, like you have a limited time because it's such a cool space that a lot of people like really want to get inside?
Absolutely. There's a 2-drink maximum.
Okay, yeah.
Right. And I think previously it was like you had a time limit. I think when this August
it was about
first opened,
it was about 40 minutes and they kicked you out.
One of the reasons why is because it's the annual pass holder populated park, but also too, this was the first time ever that you could actually drink in Disneyland without having a Club 33 membership. Disneyland for 60 years prior had always been a dry park. For the first time you could actually drink in there. So they were expecting that the volume would be tremendous. And indeed it was when it first started. Alcohol sales are on the decline nationwide. That's consistent with California as well. And I think it would, like I said, behoove them to have some kind of prep area to have small bites. But it doesn't sound like they're going in that direction.
Yep, that makes a lot of sense.
I just wanted to let someone know that that line that was on the B-roll just now going into Oga's, it's got a very long queue line, and they were concerned if you go see a cast member, you can get a wheelchair so that you can be in the line there for Oga's if you have an ADA issue or a disability. I just wanted to address someone because they are asking, how do I wait in line? If you're a person with a disability, you don't have to rent a wheelchair for the park for the whole day to get a wheelchair to wait in a line for a ride. I do want the audience to know that.
Good information, MJ.
Yes,
Awesome.
you don't.
Now, Erica, so if we are seeing things like the Millennium Falcon getting the original trilogy satellite dish back, or things like Han Solo and Carbonite, this sounds like a lot more than just a temporary turnover here. This sounds like they're taking the original trilogy, putting it in here, and keeping it there.
I mean, it sounds like it. Disney doesn't sound like they're going to go to all that effort just to make it temporary and tear it down.
Right.
I'm thinking maybe for once in the history of the company, they're finally listening to their fan base. And that's hopeful, wishful thinking for the fan base. And maybe moving forward, we'll see more improvements in that direction. But I'm cautiously optimistic on
Well,
that.
I think they need to. I think it's not so much listening to the fan base; it's listening to the dollar signs, right? I mean, sales.
Yeah. Well, I mean, their neighbors clearly know how to do that very well at Universal. I don't
Sure.
know why
Oh,
Disney's so
absolutely.
late to the game.
Yeah.
Well, and they tried to follow in Universal's footsteps by, getting the guy that actually was responsible for at least the original Wizarding World of Harry Potter in 2010, having that gentleman lead this project right here. They thought they were doing all the right things, but they just didn't get the balance of elements quite right, and not basing it on the original trilogy was a big mistake. Now they're pivoting, which is very, very good. But like you said, Erica, much too late. But look, they got to get people back here. I mean, if you go to this area of the park, I don't know how it is for Disney Hollywood Studios, and and if anybody has anything to illuminate that, please tell me, because this area of the park is dead a lot of times. Throughout
You
the day.
are correct. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge in Hollywood Studios, Florida. It was the whole park was packed, but that area was very, very, very sparse. It was not a problem getting food, not a problem waiting in the lines. As a matter of fact, guys, on Rise, I just told everyone, I said, let's just go into the single rider. Don't worry, we'll be together anyway, because I kind of know these things. And then the lady looked at me. She goes, just get in the lightning lane with your family. And she sent us right into the lightning lane.
Wow.
Galaxy's Edge is not
Wow.
busy. And we were able to actually do it twice if we wanted, but we chose not to because we really wanted to do the Millennium. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not a Star Wars girl. The other ride, is it the Millennium Falcon? The one,
Yeah,
there's
Millennium
like a
Falcon Smuggler's Run.
Right.
so
Millennium
the
Falcon
restaurant's
Smuggler's
right there with the ramp.
Docking Bay 7, yeah.
We got right in. As a matter of fact, we had our own little, what do you guys call this thing that you go inside and press all the buttons? We got our own. Yes, please. Thank you. We got our own private one without even asking. It's dead. There's no one there.
Marvin, maybe correct me if I'm wrong here, but is Galaxy's Edge less busy than something like, I don't know, Avatar over there at Animal Kingdom?
Oh, that's a good question.
I mean, that's a good question. I think in terms of like other things to do in the park, I think that Animal Kingdom has less. So the Avatar Land does tend to be a bit more packed because people are going into Flight of Passage, things like that. Hollywood Studios, there are still other e-ticket rides that you could go on.
Very true.
There's more, despite the fact that Animal Kingdom is the biggest Disney park in the world, there's more space to kind of spread out at Hollywood Studios. You can go to Toy Story Land, you ride Slinky Dog Dash, you go ride, Mickey Minnie's Runaway Railway. You take advantage of Rock and Roller Coaster while you still can, Tower of Terror, things like that. So yeah, I would say Avatar is probably a bit more populated just based on the fact that, there's not as many big, huge rides like that right now in Animal
He's
Kingdom.
absolutely correct. Navi River Journey had a longer wait than any ride at Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
Incredible. Mm-hmm.
It's insane, guys. It's so we will see. Right now this is just set to come to Disneyland, but after they see the success that the original trilogy is going to bring to this land, they may hit light speed on bringing it over.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.